Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome everyone for the satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. So we'll be starting the study circle on Gita Vahini. So we had a nice celebration of Sri Ram Navami yesterday and also on Saturday 13th in Sai Premalayam. So that was a nice to celebrate the Lord's birthday. But He has no birth and no death. Why do you celebrate? For our own joy. So it is like a holy fun. God is omnipresent. He is everywhere. But He said, Madbhakta yatra gayante tatra tishtami narda. Wherever my devotees get together and sing, I specially come and sit there. So He is sitting here because we are so many of us with love come and talk about Him and sing His glories. Very important. And even Jesus said that wherever two or more are gathered in my name, I will be there. I will come there. So all these great masters say, it is always in a group. As a satsang, we go together and share His glory or sing about His glory. He manifests. Second thing is, why then Sri Navami special birthday? Because it is, we are happy, but we are more happy on our birthday celebration. That you have a birthday party or you have a wedding celebration. If you have some friends get together party. But here you are talking about God's wedding or birthday party. So you'll have special blessings, more blessings, extra blessings He will give us. So this is such yeah. He used to also encourage. So during that for his birthday and special celebration, Dasra, he used to come. So because you will feel that special vibrations. So we had come. So whenever there is an opportunity, you can be in tune with God anywhere in your puja room or by yourself, any place. But these situations make it much easier. It is like right? Don't you think it's holy fun? So many of us gathered together and celebrate. You feel that special energy and joy. You get divine energy. So that is very good. So anyway, now we are coming to our study circle. We are continuing Gita Vahini, chapter 8, page 38 on the electronic copy. But the hard copy is page 71, yes? Okay, go ahead.
So at the Rama and Sita's wedding, you said at the Sai Premnilayam, the sages were invited. From Rama's side, a sage was sister. And then I didn't get the second name. And from
second
Sita's
is Vamadeva. Vamadeva. Vasishta and Vamadeva. And from the Sita side, Yajnavalkya and Shatananda. Shatananda is a very happy man. He actually is Gautama Maharshi's son. Ahalya Gautama, you might have heard. So Gautama's son is Shatananda. And Vishwamitra represents both parties because he took him there. So like people bought there, some marriage agents represent both woman's side and man's side. So Vishwamitra represents both. Whereas Vashishta Vamadeva for Lord Rama's side, and Yajnavalkya and Shatananda and Sita, Mother Sita's side. And here, because this is just to show an example of an ideal wedding, because what all their example is, that to show how an ideal couple, like same thing Parvati Kalyanam they do, the wedding of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva. But do they need, they are the primal, they do have no birth or death, they are the beginningless and endless. So, but just to show how a right family, like the whole family of Lord Shiva we talked about, how the children Ganesha, Subramanyam, and the whole family, they should harmony of the family in spite of differences, right? So that we talked like that. All these things are they look ritual, but you go inner meaning. Swami has said that is to give a message to us how a good husband should be, how a good wife, good children, good parents. So they show by their example. Otherwise, you read in the books, you won't. But he follows the people who lived that kind of life, good life with noble character, noble ideals. You get inspired from them. That is the purpose we do that. Remind ourselves. Rama, he was embodiment truth. Now people sacrifice truth for every little thing. That's how Mahatma Gandhi got inspired by Sathya Harishchandra one, the Emperor Harishchandra, who sacrificed everything for truth, and also by Lord Rama. So they really, if you are really ready, they will make us get the right path. Okay, so now we'll come back to the Gita Vahini. Yeah, this is like a very family, so don't hesitate to make comments, suggestions, questions. We are all open for that. So here we are on page 71 in the hard copy if you have, and even that varies depending upon what edition of the hard copy you have, right? You have the old one, old copy, and probably it may be different. Yeah, no, yeah, gold is gold, they say, right? Yes, good. Keep it. And also, once you do that, you have that special vibrations for the book. And the electronic copy you have, it is page 38 in chapter 8. So just briefly, last week is talking about the Varna Dharma. That is the that how the society is divided into four Varnas. That's Brahmins, who are the thinkers, or the people who have spiritual bent of mind, who thinking always of Brahman. And then we have Kshatriyas, who are fighters, warriors. And then we have Vaishyas, the people who are entrepreneurs, business people, who they have. And third is Shudras, who do the unskilled labors. I said each one has a place, not one is superior than the other. Because each one of us has a special talent. So I can tell even Professor Kasturi, who wrote the biography of Swami Satyam Shivam Sundaram, used to give wonderful talks. But Swami says, don't sing. He danced because he says his voice was not good for singing bhajans. And then Swami was showing his omnipresent. One time they used to have bhajans in their house. And then Swami said, your bhajans caused me a lot of ear pain when he went to Puttaparthi. He said, Swami, I don't sing, Swami. Then Swami, your neighbor boy who came there, he was sitting and singing with a screechy voice. And so we think we are just singing. So you should really feel as he comes and sits there, just feel that we are really singing for him and we want him to see that. So he said, then just to show that he's omniscient, he's listening even though he's in Bangalore and Swami is in Puttaparthi. So I don't. So, but Swami used to tell him, you. Arcadia program has to become Dhyana. So he used to tell, and that's why he was. But he was a great writer, biographer, and also wonderful talks. We were lucky to attend his many talks. He had a lot of humor and a lot of message. So that what I am telling that is each one has a talent. So myself, I can say I was good in intellectual. I was number one student. My teacher liked me when I was in 12th grade. Hey, you are a tall guy. You are 6 feet. You are so intellectual. I will make you the captain for the NCC. In India, they call NCC. Here, I don't know what they call National Cadet Corps. Here, what there's something Scouts leader. And after third, he said, you are good in studies, not for you, because I was not standing right, and I'm not into sports and these things. Whenever sports come, I used to pray, Lord, let it be rain so that they will cancel the sports. I was never interested. So each one has a thing. Some people are good in studies, some singing, some. So that is why these Varna Dharmas are started, so that each one does what they are good in. Don't mix up. That is why people say, oh, this caste system in India is so bad. That is why there's a lot. Krishna said that, and Swami is saying that that is correct thing. That is the grace of God. We have the Varna system. Even Lalita Sahasranam, one of the name is called Varnashrama Vidhayani. She created these Varnas. He created the ashramas, the different stages in life, because we all go through this bachelor life and then householder life, recluse. When you are retired, they call recluse vanaprastha, and then sannyasa. You can only renounce everything and focus only on God. So these are the things. So now that is what we talked about. So continue with the same theme. Swami is continuing. You can keep page 71.
Sairam. I also had a question because Passover is also this time, so I didn't know if we wanted to take a couple of minutes just to.
Why did you read about? Why don't you read Passover? First, I think you should explain what you grow from in this culture. It's nice to know all this. And Ramadan ended recently. The Passover, there is something in the thing. All these major things like Eid we were talking about, and then Navaratri, Spring, Navaratri, Ramanavami, Ugadi. All this came in this period. Aradhana Day is coming on 24th. So the Passover. So just why don't you give the brief background to Passover and how passes over? What does Passover? So think, what is Passover, Sheshu? What passes over? Huh? Chiranjeev, you know? Death passes. Okay, you tell the whole thing.
So
Story.
the story is the Jewish people were enslaved by the Egyptian pharaoh, and they were wanting to move on, but I think during this time, God was going to take their firstborn child. And so, of course, everybody's kind of in fear of this happening. This was Moses that actually went to everybody and said, what you do is you sacrifice a lamb and you put the blood of the lamb so that way God will pass over, because God will think that your firstborn has already left.
They put the mark on the front of their house.
Yeah.
So just that's already marked, not to death day, Yama, stay away.
Yes. And so, and then they were being led by Moses out of Egypt to Israel, basically to find their land. So they have what's called a seder, which is a dinner, and there are different components of the meal that represent certain parts of the journey. I think ones they eat like parsley dipped in salt water because it represents the tears of their ancestor as they're leaving that part of their history. And I think there are a few other things like that. With
there is actually the reason how they got the freedom is the pharaohs, that guy who was the one enslaving all these people and exploiting them, hurting them. His firstborn child, because he didn't believe that when Moses says, "Hey, you will get the curse."
Child was,
he will get the curse. He didn't believe that. This guy says something. So, but he didn't know the power of God. So he will have then his own son, firstborn child. Then he gets really, his own son dies first born, then he gets really, okay, go get out of this place. That's the Jewish take them. That is when he goes, and that is where the sea parts, right? Where is that sea to show that God is with them. So the sea parting, but as soon as they cross, then the sea again closes. So that means these people, they could not follow the Egyptian rulers, to show that you have God with you, so He will protect you. Even death will pass over you. That means, like we chant in Mrityunjaya, Mrityur, Amrutan, just He will give the immortality. That means Because the death which is supposed to come, it came for other people, but these people were saved because they are marked by the grace of God with the remark, and then they could escape because that guy was scared, Pharaoh. So anyway, so just continue. Unless anybody else knows more about that story, you can tell.
I'm going to start right above this paragraph. As a result of this system, a division of service is brought about. The individual leads a happy, harmonious social life without any grief or fear. This Varna system is an example of the grace that the Lord has bestowed on Bharat. The people of Bharat are indeed blessed, since they look upon every act as but the execution of His order and as leading to His grace. This point has to be reflected upon. It is an important issue. The divine command is now in great danger of being set at naught. If the rules change the face of this Varna system, the world will not have the welfare they strive for. Many people argue and teach that Bharat came to this sorry condition only because of this Varna system. But these folk have to sit quiet for some little time and ponder over the question. Has the country survived as a result of this system? Strived as a result of the system, or has it become to this sorry condition because the system has weakened? Then, on the basis of their conclusion, they can advise discarding of the Varnas. When people find fault with the Varna organization, without such impartial investigation, their opinion cannot be valued. Of course, it is a fact that the system has veered from the proper path and taken to moving in wrong directions. This has been noted by many great men. But that cannot be sufficient reason to throw it overboard. For the reason that the leg is doing the work of the hand, and that the head is performing the function of the feet, it is not advisable to cut off the hands and feet. Attempts have to be made to set things right, rather than destroying the very system itself. The Varna system is not the cause of all this confusion and unrest. The fault lies more in the haphazard manner in which it is developed. It has become a plaything in the hands of all types of people. I'm sorry, my pages are torn here, so I'm trying to put them together. Yeah. So it lost its original symmetry and harmony. The system is essential, not merely for Bharat, but even for the world. In countries outside India, the system is not absent. The name may be different. The working is the same. There also are 4 classes: the Sikshaka Varga, the Rakshaka Varga, the Vanig Varga, and the Shramika Varga. But in Bharat, Varnas are decided by birth. In other parts of the world, they are decided by karma, the work each is engaged in. That is the distinction. Now, among the Brahmins who have been honored by being established in the very first cadre, many can be found who have left off the path and strayed into mean ways. So too, in the 4th Varna, the Shudras, many can be found who are moved by holy ideals, high spiritual aspirations, and who are striving to attain purity of mind as a means of realization. Just because these things are possible, it is not proper to conclude that the Varna organization of human society is useless. So here, I think this is something, Uncle, you mentioned, just that this is everybody is basically equal in this division. I like how Lord Krishna and Swami basically writes that this is how the universe works. Everybody has their part. It's sort of like in a car, or, we've talked about hospitals where everybody has their part. There's nobody that's really more important, but to make the universe or a society work, God has created this system so that everybody plays their part. And the part that you play is based on usually what you feel comfortable doing or where you feel your dharma or your purpose is. Um, but he also makes a point to say just because somebody has a certain varna doesn't necessarily dictate how their life goes. Um, and he did bring up that you can be in the Brahmin varna, but you may go off the path. But then there are also many folks who fall into the Shudra varna who actually follow that spiritual path. And I think, Uncle, you've told us many stories about people and who are very wise, even though maybe they're not sages or they're not so learned of the scriptures. I just remember a story that you told us of a butcher who was actually very wise and very spiritual, but not necessarily performing a task that would be considered so spiritual.
Yeah, that's a good point. You summarized very well, Nirupama. So the thing is first we should believe Lord Krishna is God. So he clearly said, Chatur Varnam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagayo. Yes, I created, Lord said, I created these four Varnas, four. So whenever God created, we believe what he creates is good, right? Because he is all love and wisdom and compassion. So, but how did he create? Maya guna karma vibhagayo, depending upon your aptitude and your action. He didn't say by birth. So that is why I will say the thousands of years ago, Bhagavad Gita is given thousands of, more than 5,000 years, that is what they say. So now most of the colleges, schools, universities, they have aptitude test. So depending upon what your aptitude is, depending upon that you take that profession. So these people started the aptitude test so long ago. That is why he says the Bharat is specially blessed by divine grace to have this system. So one is Lord Krishna himself said, I created depending upon your aptitude and your actions. And even, as I said, mothers, divine mothers, one of the names is Varna Ashrama Vidhayini. She has created these Varnas. So even the divine, I think about only the masculine aspect, we are talking about the feminine aspect, mother, divine mother, and ashramas. Both are created, like Lord Krishna said that. So there is a purpose, because whenever you have that tendency, I said in the same family, one can be a Brahmin, four brothers, one can be a Brahmin, he is very highly intellectual thinker. One doesn't like to go to school, college, but he likes to do business, can be a business guy. One neither likes that, he want to just go, doesn't waste time, he do his unskilled labor. He could end up in the gas station or doing gardening. So it depends upon your level of thinking. But in general, wherever you are born in a family, like you are born in a Brahmin's family. I said, Krishna is Brahmin. From childhood, they are exposed to certain things because their parents will be chanting these various hymns of God. They will be reading the scriptures. They will have, naturally, the children will be exposed to that from their childhood. So in general, but unfortunately, some people, they get distracted. They don't do the Gayatri, they don't do the scriptures. Then though they are born in the family, they're not. But in general, they do that. And same thing, people who are born in business family, their children tend to like to do the business. But it is not, but only the Swami is telling is it is not rigid. So you may be born in that family, you may have a different interest. As we were talking about, there are many examples like Nandanar, he was born in untouchable family. So he could not even go to a temple, like Lord Shiva's temple. He could not even go from a distance. He could have the darshan of Lord Shiva, but he could not see Lord Shiva because the Nandi is always facing Lord Shiva, right? Nandi faces. Then he says, Lord Shiva, Lord, I can't have your darshan, because even from outside the compound wall. Then Lord Shiva is so touched by this person's devotion, Nandi moves. Even now the temple is there. What is the place, Krishna? Tirupangur. I went there. So just you can see most of the places, Shiva temple is straight, but this is where it is. And this guy, this person goes to even Chidambaram, where the Lord Shiva is there as Nataraja, the Lord who is the cosmic dancer. So, yeah, he is considered a Nayanar. Even that means 163 Nayanars are there. These are the greatest Shaivite saints. So this one and another one is Kannappa Nayanar, who is also a tribal person. He is made a Nayanar. So because of their love for God, it's not necessarily their birth, but their love for God and their sacrifice for God. That is most important in life. It is good to have knowledge of the scriptures, but important is character. So how noble character, how loving you are, how much sacrifice you do. So these people, even though they are in that, another is like Mother Shabari, who was born in a tribal family but exposed to those Matanga stage, how her life is transformed. And only one darshan of Lord Rama she had, and she merged with Lord Rama. So that is what the thing is important, is how pure and how good you are. And so at the same time, you are born in another family. So whatever you are, you need to justify to that varna. That's what. But if you cannot, what your aptitude, you are, because you are born in that family, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that same work. Your heart says something, you follow that. That flexibility is always there. Do you understand? So caste system is not bad. It's good, so that each one plays a role. Like I have had, that's why the Purushottam, the greatest hymn in the Vedas, is next to Rudram. It is also chanted by all, even the sannyasis, where the whole God is considered like, say, a human being and is sacrificed. So each portion, the head of the Purusha is cosmic Lord, is represents Brahmins, the thinkers. And shoulders, they are represent Kshatriyas, because the valor and then Urus, that means thighs, represent Vaishyas, business people. And feet represent Shudra, the unskilled labor who serve the society. So you can't say head is more important, shoulders. So everything you need, right? You can say I will only walk with the head. You need feet to walk, right? So without feet, can you walk? Even the whole thing is supported by the feet. And as we talked about, when you worship God, just you don't worship. Most of the time, we put feet of the Lord, right? Worship the feet of the Lord. Padukas you have to put. So given the most importance to the feet of the Lord. So we cannot say one is, as long as each one serves its purpose. So eyes can see. With eyes you can't eat. With the tongue you cannot see. So each organ plays its role. Same thing in the society. Each person has a role to play. That we need to remember. That is the main message Swami is telling. Don't think one is high, one is low. So everything in God's plan, everybody has to play a role. Anybody has any questions?
Couple of comments
Okay.
online. First comment is the Passover amplifies the message of na karmana. Sacrifice is the way to overcome death. And the second one is I feel the key statement from Swami.
No, the karmana is, that is
Na karmana.
Na karmana means without action. No, it should be tell the whole thing. Otherwise, people misunderstand. Na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, tyagenaike amrutatva manasu. That means tyagenaike, only by sacrifice you attain immortality. That means we all want to be immortal, right? Nobody wants to die. Anybody wants to die here? Nobody wants to die. We all want to be immortal. So the way to immortality, they say, is only by sacrifice. So sacrificing our ego, not karmana, not by doing like we do selfless service, go here. That is good, but you cannot. Not prajaya, oh, I have got so many followers, like leader, I have got 1 billion people following me. Not prajaya. Not dhaniyana, oh, I have so much wealth, I'm a billionaire, trillionaire. None of them will take you to immortality. Only by tyaga, by sacrifice alone. That is the important. That's what he made. Probably he didn't want to put the whole thing. That is what the statement means. Only by sacrifice you attain immortality. Okay, next.
The second one is, I feel the key statement from Swami to focus is that the problems arose from not following the Varna system rather than from following it. It
Yes.
also is clear that the Brahmana is highest because is involved in quest of Brahman. From Swami's words, it also appears like doing something of a lesser Varna is not good. Like a Brahmana giving up quest of God to earn money, but doing something of a higher Varna is appreciated. Like a person with tendency to seek wealth deciding to seek God.
Yeah, like seeking God, that is the highest dharma. Because these dharmas, when we talk about doing household work, business, fighting in the war, reading scriptures, being a priest, the Brahmins, a lot of them priests, and is refers to the gender, body, mind. The highest dharma which is common to all is dharma. What is that? We told many times. Atma Dharma, that we are that embodiments of the Supreme. It doesn't have a gender. Atma doesn't have a gender, doesn't have a caste, it doesn't have a race, religion, culture, creed, or language. It is universal. So that is what Atma Dharma is. That is, so anything, anybody from any walk of life, whether you are a Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmin, you can pursue. There are many Brahmins who don't even know what life of Brahmin. So for me, any path you can do because that is the highest dharma. But when you are in particular field, like a physician, you are supposed to take care of the patients. You can't say doing a litigation is like some doctors are lawyers too, right? Nowadays they take that. But you love a physician, you are a physician. Like that, whatever you are good in. So the lawyer, you do the legal profession. So the main thing is stick to what you are good at. That's the main thing. Don't just copy somebody else. Actually, Swami said Swadharma, gave a nice example. So this in India in the old days, these washermen, they used to wash their clothes and then dry up the clothes on the nearby trees because they don't have washer and dryer those days, right? Even now some places they don't have. Now people, younger people may not know what this means. Washer and dryer, they don't have. So in the old days, I saw that. So they wash in the nearby lake or in a river or something, and then they wash it and dry it up, the clothes on that. So he was doing that. So he had a dog which he's supposed to protect so nobody steals, because when he's doing that, somebody will take away the clothes. So, and after that protects, and then after finishing the drying, he puts all the clothes on the top of a donkey and takes it home to give it back to people. So that day, somehow the dog was somewhere else, and only donkey he had. And this donkey saw some of people, then this guy is busy, they were taking away the clothes. So this donkey got mad. She was making so much noise because dog is not there to bark. And this guy got mad, goes on hitting her. Why do you make? Because dogs, that's a business of a donkey is just take back the clothes, not to make noise like the dog. So just to show that you try to imitate the dog trying to protect, then it got the beatings. So that dog's duty is to bark. So that this guy got, because he doesn't understand that a donkey is not supposed to do that. So similarly, Swami says, don't try to imitate. Each one follow your own dharma. What you are good at, try to excel in your own, excel in that. That is what, not the imitation. Just be creative. So as this imitation is human, they say creativity is divine.